Hey, good evening, everybody. I wanted to make a video for a guy who screamed at me to get a job and F you and yada yada earlier today while I was flying a sign. One, if you think that that's going to encourage people to just go get the job that's just waiting for them right around the corner, you're a moron. I mean, really, like, you have potatoes for brains. I hope you get the mental health help you need and maybe go back to first grade. You had a cortisol release. I saw the veins bulging on your head. Guess who didn't have a cortisol release? You just shortened your life, made your day bad. So you look like a jackass screaming out the window at homeless people. Congratulations, buddy. What a loser. You were the biggest loser. You think I'm a loser? You're going around screaming at me. Have no idea who I am or the situation I'm in. So, congratulations, dummy. You know, uh, I understand people being frustrated with the way the world's going, and maybe not appreciating everyone's choices in life, or not understanding the circumstances people are in. But know that you don't know everything, and I mean, I don't understand who right now thinks that there's just tons of jobs in Southern California um, for non-Spanish speaking people anyway, who don't have any degrees, who don't have a resume. My resume would be my name and a phone number. And thousands of people are getting laid off every day. And you got, you know, people with graduate degrees driving Uber and working at McDonald's. So just get a job is the dumbest thing I've heard in my life. Second of all, I wouldn't need just one job. Just have to be able to stop begging and get an apartment here. I would need at least three. But you can't get full-time jobs at the bottom of the economy now because of all the regulation here and overtaxation, etc. So I'd have three part-time jobs, and that would get me maybe an apartment and ramen, some SpaghettiOs 3 times a day for working three jobs. How about you stop electing corrupt, thieving, incompetent scumbags? How about that? How about instead of fighting Trump for because you have brain worms, how about instead you encourage illegals moving on so that people at the bottom of the rung in America don't have to compete with every person on the face of the planet for a labor job? Wages have been suppressed at the bottom of the economy my entire life. My father, if you include his benefits, made more working at a grocery store in 1978 than I can make right now. Because you elect criminals. And I mean, I'm not going to force you to do anything. It's your choice. But then don't sit there and expect me to work like a slave for nothing, to live in a box and eat ramen. You're nuts if you think that's how it works or how it's going to work with me. Even if I could get 3 jobs, which is beyond the realm. Never mind the health problems that I have. I mean, it's not like I could keep a job either. What I need is freedom. What I need is a government that doesn't take 90% of a working man's labor. 90% of your money, if you're at the bottom of the taxpayer rung, is going to the government. And if you need me to explain that more, leave a comment down below and I'll explain it. I'd be happy to. But we're getting robbed every day, so our government can shove money in their pockets, hand money out so they can get favors and votes, and then fraud and just complete incompetence. Our roads are garbage. There's human feces everywhere. There's junkies everywhere. Kids can't read. Kids can't do math. Can't behave. And they know they have no future because boomers have been electing people to rob them their entire life. And they just can't be bothered to deal with reality. You think I should just get a job. And you think screaming it out the window at me is going to do it. Oh, all I needed was somebody to scream at me. Now I'll go magically make a job appear with a magic wand. This country's been screwed by generations of people not caring, not paying attention, or just outright being maniacally evil themselves. That's why we're here. And that's why so many people just don't care anymore. And there's no reward. You know, we're living with women who live under the princess theory, what I call the princess theory, where they've all been brainwashed by the perverts at Disney into thinking that they're all princesses and all deserve to live like princesses and be treated like princesses. And, you know, have guys spend $2,000 a date to go out with their worn out butts that, you know, what, you want me to work my life away so I can swipe my life away in my free time on an app where no woman will ever talk to me because I'm not tall enough or rich enough? I'll pass. Thanks. I mean, it's not like it's an option anyway, because you've criminalized everything. You've let the government overregulate everything so much that everything's pointless at this point. If you're at the bottom and you don't have access to resources or the right contacts, you're surrounded by people who just don't care, not enough to help you, not enough to like invest any time or effort into you, not enough to like give you a little bit of space to use. You know, I grew up, I mean, at a young age, I knew what the Cultural Revolution was, and I spent my entire life up until the last 5 or so years, 5-10 years. I always wondered how China got to the point of the Cultural Revolution where kids and teenagers went around killing their parents and their professors and capitalists, anyone who was successful. And I understand now. I understand because I look around at the people who are quote unquote successful, and half the money they have is stolen, and it's stolen from their kids and their grandkids, and they voted for it, whether they know it or not. And I think a lot of their ignorance is willful. They refuse to know the truth because it hurts. They know they've done wrong, and they don't want to take responsibility for it, certainly. Or they just don't want to believe it's true because it'll shatter their psyche. Cognitive dissonance is a biatch. But you're not fooling me. And you're not going to fool your kids who are growing up in a screwed up country that's a complete train wreck. And, you know, eventually they're going to figure it out. They're going to see some of my videos and go, holy cow, we've been robbed. And they have been. It's sad. And it's embarrassing as an American man. I thought we were going to leave the world better than we found it. Instead, I'm surrounded by a bunch of people who want to use it, chew it up, spit it out, and poop on it. And it disgusts me. You know, you can think a lot of things about me. I'm not a perfect man. I'm a sinner. I've failed. I've made mistakes. But, like, I've tried. I'm not, like, robbing children. I'm not voting to rob children. I'm not driving around in a car with a 500-watt subwoofer giving kids brain damage. I'm not poisoning your kids. I'm not lying to you about the side effects of medications that you're being pushed on TV so people can make more money, so the rich can get richer and you can get poorer and sicker. At least I'm not that kind of guy. Anyway, sorry for the rant, but you know, it wears on you after a while. It's like you're just surrounded by people who just, my God, what happened to America? But to those of you that don't go around screaming at homeless people, thinking that that somehow makes you cool or superior to them, I hope you have a good evening, and I hope all good people have a good evening tonight. Peace of the peaceful. God bless all good people. Hit all the buttons down below. Like, subscribe, share, comment, call me names, call me a liar, tell me I'm ugly, tell me I stink. Right down below. Thank you. God bless.